So first is health is complicated, and it's complicated because everybody disagrees with everybody about everything. So if you want to do something, it's like, what do you do? And you decide to do it, then people are like, that's bullshit, okay? So I'm going to try to break this down into ways that are quantifiable for you. So first, the most important marker in your life is your resting heart rate before bed. Okay, so if you have a wearable tonight, when you go to sleep, lay your head on the pillow, take a few deep breaths and calm yourself, and then you're going to look at your screen on your wearable and say, what is my resting heart rate? So let's just say it's 60 beats per minute after you've calmed down. Your goal over the next month is to lower that by 10%. Okay, so from 60 to 54. And then if you don't have a wearable, just simply take your pulse, fingers on the neck, take your count number of beats for 6 seconds, and then multiply that by 10. That's your resting heart rate. Okay? Now the reason why you want to know this is because this is the marker you want to improve. So over the next 30 days, you're going to learn that everything that increases your heart rate before bed is bad. Everything that lowers your heart rate before bed is good. Okay, so let's go through some examples. So your last meal of the day dramatically affects your heart rate. So if your bedtime is 10 p.m. and you eat a big meal at 9 p.m., you know the feeling, right? You lay down, the heart's pounding as it's digesting the food. If you have some kind of time before that, like 3 or 4 hours, you go to bed, maybe you're slightly hungry, you know that the body feels much more ready for sleep, okay? So first rule is eat your last meal of the day at least 4 hours before bed. Okay? Now I do 8 hours before bed, but that's me. You can do what you find to be appropriate for your body. But I find if I do 8 hours before bed, and these other things I'm going to tell you, my heart rate is 44 beats per minute. Wow. If I have 44 beats per minute, I'm going to have a perfect night's sleep. Okay? Because if your heart rate is high, you're going to have a terrible night's sleep. If your heart rate is low, you're more likely to have a great night's sleep. Okay? Number 2 is you need to have a 60-minute wind down routine. Okay? That means if your bedtime's at 10 p.m., at 9 p.m., you need to turn your screens off. Okay? We're all addicted to our phones. Okay? You need to turn it off. Your body needs to wind down from the day. Now you're all like type A personalities, which means that you're hard charging in life. So when that time comes, at the end of the day, you're cycling through all the things you went through on a daily basis. Things that you're working towards, things you're mad at, things you messed up on, like all the emotions you have. If you don't have a wind down routine to reconcile what you've done, when you go to bed, you're gonna put your head on the pillow, and then you're going to loop, right? And then when you finally fall asleep after an hour, you get 2 hours of sleep, and you wake up again, and what happens? You loop. Exactly, you stay in light sleep all night long, okay? So the way I wind myself down is I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. So when 7:30 comes, evening Bryan is in charge. Sleep Bryan is in charge. Okay? So Sleep Bryan, he's there to defend me. And the first Bryan that shows up is ambitious Bryan, always. He's always there and he's like, Bryan, I've got a brand new idea. It's a banger. And Sleep Bryan says, ambitious Bryan, we love you. You're doing a great job in life, very proud of you. Right now, we are in sleep mode. So we're gonna write down your idea, and then tomorrow, we're gonna think about this. And ambitious Bryan says, are you sure? And Sleep Bryan says, yes. And this is, are you sure? Yes. So ambitious Bryan walks away. The next Bryan to show up is anxious Bryan. He says, tonight, when you were hanging out, right, you said some stupid things. You probably offended many people. They probably think you're an idiot. And Sleep Bryan says, anxious Bryan, thank you for your self-awareness. Really good. We have like the ability to see what other people perceive of us. We're gonna write that down, and tomorrow we can sort this out. I'm sure it's gonna be okay. And then other Bryans are lining up, but I have to identify like what is happening inside my mind and my body because they need to be addressed. If you don't address your emotional needs, they're just gonna pester you like, hear me out, listen to me. I need to tell you what I'm worried about, what I'm thinking. So whether it's that or you have some other type of approach, something that addresses your needs, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3 is be consistent with your bedtime every single night. So my credibility on this topic is I achieved 8 months of perfect sleep. using Whoop. And so I wanted to demonstrate you can in fact achieve high quality sleep. Now the body is extremely powerful in doing something when you give it consistency and rhythm. So a lot of people, when they can't sleep, the first thing they do is they reach for a pill. But your body is much better, it's much more efficacious at doing this than pills. So if you give yourself a little time to get into a routine, you'll find it's extremely powerful. So when I was doing this every night, I tried to be in bed plus or minus 1 minute. Okay? And I found that it was like literally at 8:29, my brain would just like crush, like fall upon itself and be like, we're going to sleep. I would just like fall over. It was amazing. So consistency is really important. The other way to think about this is when you show up to work on a daily basis, you have planned meetings. So at 9 a.m., you have a team meeting. If you're late by 3 minutes, you preface your arrival by saying, you know what, I'm so sorry, I'm late, right? Your tolerance is 3 minutes before you disrespect people, okay? Treat your bedtime with the same level of respect, okay? Don't disrespect yourself. If your bedtime's at 10, be to bed at 10. Now, if you make exceptions, cool, but generally speaking, as you establish your routines in life, be very consistent. The fourth is light in an environment. Red light and amber lights are much better. Blue lights are bad. They suppress melatonin. And then 5, be mindful of stimulants. So coffee or caffeine has a 6-hour half-life. If you drink a cup of coffee at 4 p.m., that means at 10 p.m., you have a half a cup of coffee in your body, okay, which is going to prevent you from sleeping really well. And so if you're going to have caffeine earlier in the day, some meds, like ADHD meds, can in fact increase heart rate. So if you look at the data and you say, what do these things actually do? Rumination, this is like I'm worried, or I'm excited, or I'm concerned, or I'm mad, or something like that. That can increase your heart rate between 5 and 25 beats per minute, okay? It's really high. Now, if you have that, it's going to lower your sleep quality by about 40 to 50%. It can reduce that much. For a meal that's very heavy, 5 to 10 beats per minute is the cost. So each one of these things has a cost. So you'll see that in your behaviors, you can peg an actual number. Like for example, I know personally from my data, if I have a late meal, like at 5 p.m., it's going to increase my heart rate by about 7 beats per minute. I'll lose about 30% of my sleep. It's just like clockwork. It's amazing. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because sleep is the best performance-enhancing drug in the entire world. Nothing is more efficacious. Also, people who get 7 to 9 hours of sleep have beautiful skin. In fact, it is 50% lower on the rate of aging on the skin, and you have a 30% faster recovery in the skin barrier. So sleep is beauty, right? That's just not a statement. It actually is supported by the evidence. It's also the case with your immune system. On the flip side, if you don't get good sleep, so for example, if you have 4 hours or less per night of sleep, your body stops looking for cancer by 73%. Okay, so the body says, I need to take care of the critical functions of my body. Therefore, I'm going to shut down NK cells, the surveillance of cancer. Okay, you also have a higher level of proteins called S100B, which is equal to like a traumatic brain injury. So it's not the case where you'd be like, you know what, just one night, it's fine. It's like suffering a traumatic brain injury. Okay, so it's really not something that, and I know our culture says, right, it's not a big deal, whatever, I can get past it. It's also a case that our culture currently says you can flex. Like, I only need 3 to 4 hours a night and I'm good, right? Like people say that for status. Or like, I sleep under my desk. Oh boy, you must be a really hard worker. So our culture is really, really foolish, and soon it's going to be seen as foolish. We're in this transition stage now where longevity and health are coming into view, but there's still this like lingering culture that less sleep makes you powerful or have high status. That's going to go away, and it's going to be very clear from the science that sleep makes you worse at everything you do in your life. Okay, so how's that for the first bit?
Very good.
Love it.
When I was teaching my kids, my first child had to swim. I was like a first-time father, and I read there were 3 ways to teach him how to do it. 1 is you can push him into the pool and say good luck. 2, you can jump in the pool and say jump to me, and you're like I'll help you. Or 3, you can bring his friend over, who knows how to swim. And guess which one works?
Friend.
Exactly. So we are a social, mimetic species. we do what other people do. And as much as we want to think of ourselves as independent actors in the world, we're not. We copy other people's behaviors. So you all are a community here in London. The most powerful thing you can do for each other is to exhibit good health habits. And that means saying we can go to bed on time, we can plan our events so that we can have a great time and also get our sleep. So it really is very much like a social thing that people need permission and need social structures in order to maintain these habits, okay? So be that positive influence in your friend's life. Okay, now the reason why resting heart rate is so important is not because it basically represents your entire life, where now when I talk to somebody where they're like, I have the following complaints, or I have the following goals, the first thing I ask them, the first thing I look at is their skin. Like, skin tells all. The second thing is I say, show me your resting heart rate. So show that to me, and it kind of reveals their entire life. It like shows me their soul, okay? Because it reveals eating habits, alcohol, smoking, food, late night debauchery. Okay? Yeah. That one did, yeah. So the reason why what happened over here? Tell us more. No, we need to know more. What happened? Yeah. And I get it. Yeah. We were in Stockholm last week. We did 2 raves. So like, I'm with you, right? So it's like, make exceptions, have fun. So this is like trying to create structures for life, but it's not to say that we can't make exceptions. And yeah, cool. So.
But you absolutely don't drink, right?
I do not drink.
Okay. Just got that.
Yeah, alcohol is really bad. So the reason why we're so hard. Who's drinking alcohol? Yeah. No, we need to shame somebody. Let's see. Who's drinking? Nothing better than shaming. Thank you, friend. I appreciate that. What are you having?
Wine, tequila,
Yeah. That's good. So share your sleep score tomorrow morning.
Usually I'm between 85 and 92.
That's good. Even on alcohol nights?
I'm tending to 84, but usually I never go below 84. You know,
Yeah.
I'm black, I'm different though. I don't have the same problem, my friend.
That's they all say.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
So resting heart rate is also your accountability partner, okay? So late at night, you're stressed, your favorite show just dropped, and it's like the ice cream in the fridge or the bag of chips, right? Or like your favorite thing, it's like, tonight's the last night, right? You do it. So you're gonna see the relationship that if you do that, your heart rate is gonna go up. And when it goes up, you're gonna see your sleep goes down. The next day, you're gonna see your mood goes down. You're gonna see your want to exercise goes down. You're gonna see your want for really unhealthy food go up. It just has this compounded effect where it just has this domino thing. So with my brain interface company, Kernel, we measured my willpower based upon a bad night's sleep, 30 minutes of deep sleep versus an hour and a half. My willpower was down by 90%. Okay, so when you get bad sleep, the likelihood of you eating bad stuff skyrockets. Okay, that's where the cravings come from. You want bad stuff. That's why sleep is like the absolute pillar of your life. And that's why the heart rate is your accountability partner. Okay? So I have this really long list of friends where I am their accountability partner, and I see their heart rate. And so I'll call them in the morning, and I'll say, "What's up? We had a 25% increase. What's going on?" It's like, "Yeah, like I had some alcohol." Or whatever the thing was. And so it really is, it's like, I think it's really gonna become a thing in our society where we see these effects. All right, so that's one. If you wanna basically take health and wellness, like I would say before you go out and do an NAD drip or you do like a cold plunge or whatever, those are great. Your resting heart rate will deliver better results for you than any therapy in the entire world. Okay, it's just so it's hard. Because it's lifestyle, it's choice, it's late night stuff. Okay?
What about beta blockers? You could have it. Take a beta blocker.
Sure, yeah, you certainly could, but it wouldn't necessarily solve the fundamental issue of like you're still overeating or something like that. Yeah. Okay, so that's a challenge for you guys. Number one is I'm going to invite you to make sleep your number one life priority. That is counterintuitive because I know what a lot of you are thinking. Actually, so a lot of you are thinking that you can't square in your mind how you're possibly going to achieve your goals in life if you sleep, because you assume you just don't have enough time, or you can't possibly square how you're going to like do the following things. I can tell you, as an ambitious person, you can build a lifestyle that embraces sleep, and that sleep will make you a better person in everything you do. A better partner, a better entrepreneur. Yes?
What do you do when you travel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so international travel wrecks health. It really does. So when I went to India and China, my speed of aging increased by 30%. Yeah, it disrupts your blood glucose. It disrupts, it takes weeks for your body to recover from the international travel. So it really is. There's just no way around it. Like, you can do all the jet lag stuff you want. You can exercise first thing in the morning. You can eat in the morning, like do melatonin. It does not stop the wreckage. And so,
Just sleep, jet lag, or
yeah, it's the time zone.
yeah,
Y'all-
just can't.
Exactly.
But if you sleep well, it's fine.
So just, I would say look at your data. Like, those who have,
Mine is actually quite okay. Even if I Asia, it depends which way. But like,
Yeah.
I sleep really well. I
Mhm.
can sleep 12 hours if I want to, if I just
Yeah.
put myself to bed.
yeah,
So
and your
like,
HRV stays stable.
it's a little bit of a change, but
Yeah,
I think
but not
it's just
dramatic.
I think it's just like it depends if we're able to sleep.
Yeah, so maybe there's like some variance there. I think for most people, their subjective experience is that international travel just wrecks, and the lingering effects just stay on for weeks. I know when I return from India and China, my resilience is very, very good. Like, I bounce back from things very, very fast. And even coming back from India and China, it took me 3 weeks for my body to stabilize again on blood glucose and other things. So just be mindful. It's not to say you shouldn't travel internationally. Like we do. We just try to be very very picky in where we go, why, and what we do. And then also domestic's not terrible, right? Like, it's a small time zone change. You can definitely adapt to those kinds of things. Yes.
Have you tried fasting specifically? One thing I've found that seems to work is eating absolutely nothing for 24 hours during international travel.
Yes.
So that A, you don't eat all the crap that normally you get, but B, you fall asleep almost immediately because when you don't eat, you seem to sleep better. I don't
Exactly.
know if that's
That's exactly the protocol. So what he said is,
Oh, right.
exactly. So if you're doing an international flight, so the protocol is fast. So just like realize when you get onto the airplane, they are trying to kill you. Okay? So let's think about it. What's the first thing they offer you on the airplane? Champagne. What's the second thing they give you on the airplane? Yeah, exactly. And third thing, what else is there? And you have a screen right in front of you.
Different airplanes.
Right?
My private.
Yeah. So like, they're giving you everything that's gonna wreck your sleep. So fast. Don't drink the alcohol. Have blue light blocking glasses on because the cabin light has a lot of blue. Go to sleep as soon as you can. And then when you land, just wake up on the new time zone, eat first thing in the morning, and then exercise. Right? You're saying, hey body, I'm on a new time zone, we're going to adjust. So you can do other more advanced things, but that's really the basic stuff. Okay, cool. Yes?
You talk a lot about alcohol and coffee, and I'm not interested in either of them, but I love dark chocolate. Can you say something about that?
Yeah. So amazingly, like, since we've been in Europe, we're given like 3 boxes of chocolate everywhere we go. Yeah. So there's 2 things. One is chocolate has caffeine, and chocolate usually has sugar, but not always, right? Sometimes it doesn't. Also, chocolate has a lot of heavy metals. So we tested 10 brands of chocolate for heavy metals, and they came back all extremely high.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah.
is that in
So-
the US?
They were all
Because US is different quality.
Oh yeah, we
So
did.
Europe.
Yeah, there were some international brands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Really annoying. It's like,
Yeah,
why
there are
don't
laws
they
around
make
it. Also, the laws are so basically the serving size is like 1 cube, but I think most people eat an entire bar or 2. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would just say really be careful with the heavy metals. They can accumulate very quickly. Yeah. So like, chocolate is definitely very good, but it really is like in very small amounts.
And does it impact on sleep though? If you
it does have some caffeine. So like I think it depends on the chocolate, but up to 25 milligrams of caffeine in a chocolate serving, which is about like a fifth of a cup of coffee, thereabouts.
More in dark chocolate, deeper I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was curious if you think that nationality or ethnicity affects like epigenetics. Like
Yes.
some people just have a jump start because they say Asians, for example, age exceptionally well, and you for a Caucasian is aging well, but in Asia, like everyone is looking young at like 60 or
Yeah.
70.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's definitely the case that genetics play a very significant role in the aging processes.
But it doesn't have to determine your aging. That's what kind of your
Exactly.
to tell people they can change that even if it's
Yeah.
not innately there.
That's right. Yeah. So I have like average genetics. How are you guys doing? Are you comfortable standing up? Are you getting very uncomfortable? It's like in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Keep on going.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, all right. All right.
Hold on, Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I can switch if anyone wants to sit
a good
down.
idea.
Yeah, I think we should switch.
Do you want to sit here?
Oh, yeah.